What's up YouTube, it's Philo here. Before I begin today's video, if you've been watching a lot of my videos and enjoyed them and haven't yet subscribed, I encourage you to do so because it does make a difference. Today's topic is going to be very serious. I'm sure there are many others out there who have gone through similar experiences as I did in the mid-90s. Today I'm going to talk about the worst trade-in that still haunts me to this day that I did at Funcoland. If you've never heard of Funcoland, just imagine GameStop in the mid-90s. Eventually all the Funcoland stores became GameStops anyways, just like every other video game trade-in store, but that's basically what it was. Some of my earliest video game memories were playing the original Nintendo at my cousin's house in the early 90s. He had a lot of games, and I remember sitting in front of the TV with the duck hunt gun, holding the gun right up to the TV, because that's the most effective way to play it. Of course, my uncle and my dad said, "You gotta stay a little farther away from the TV, make it more of a challenge." And I'm like, why would I want more of a challenge? I can win this way. It's as if they didn't realize the trick to the game or something. I didn't have the original Nintendo system, so it was fun to play it when I went to my cousin's house. One day though, sometime in the mid-90s, his NES broke. And this is before it was probably easy to get replacement parts, and now everybody knows it's the 72-pin connector that needs to be replaced. So he was unable to fix it. Now that he had all these games that he wasn't able to play anymore, he decided, here you go Philo, you can have all these games. Great, it's great to have all these NES games, but I have a Sega Genesis. I don't have any way to play these. Then I came up with a brilliant idea. If I took all these NES games, brought them to Funcoland, I could trade them in and get a bunch of Sega Genesis games, right? That makes sense. My cousin had about 20 or 30 NES games, so that's worth at least a couple Genesis games. So my dad and I go to Funcoland with all of these NES games, and we're gonna trade them in. We put all of the NES games on the Funcoland counter, and I said, "What can you give me for these?" The employee at Funcoland looks the games over. Best I can do for all these games is 55 cents. 55 cents? This was not what I was expecting to hear. I thought this would be tens of dollars at least. I was in a real tough situation. What do I do at this point? Obviously, I can't even get one Sega Genesis game for 55 cents. Maybe a sports game, but that was it. I had a couple different options. I could keep these games. Even though I don't have a Nintendo, I could keep them and then maybe have a Nintendo later on down the line. I didn't even tell you what games my cousin gave me. He had all the Mario games, he had both the Zelda games, he had a handful of Mega Man games, and a couple of sports games and others I don't remember, but really, these games were worth more than 55 cents. My dad was also going to let me decide. He was going to let me make the final decision. YouTube, the decision I made was to sell all these games to Funcoland for 55 cents. Sometimes I wake up in the middle of the night thinking about this. How could I do this? It's been over 25 years and it still haunts me. I know I can't be the only one in the world who has made a horrible decision at Funcoland. So if you have any similar stories to tell, please share them in the comment section below. Besides that, I really do have a nostalgia trip for Funcoland, and it's fun to look back on the history of that. If you haven't ever heard of Funcoland before, it's fun to research their history. That's about it for today. I'm gonna go research the prices of Mega Man 6 in box and cry about it. We'll see you around.